I walked into my boyfriend's apartment and heard him tell his friends, "Pay up, boys, she actually fell in love with me." I was supposed to meet my boyfriend Keith at his apartment at 7, but I got off work early and decided to surprise him. He'd given me a key 3 months ago and told me I could come over anytime. I let myself in quietly because I thought it would be fun to sneak up on him. I could hear voices coming from the living room. Keith and his two best friends were laughing about something. I was about to walk in and say hi when I heard my name. I stopped in the hallway and listened. Keith's friend asked him when he was going to end things with me. Keith said he wasn't sure yet because he was having too much fun. His other friend laughed and said he couldn't believe Keith had actually pulled it off. Keith said he told them he could get any girl to fall for him if he tried hard enough. Then he said, "Pay up, boys, because she actually fell in love with me." I heard the sound of money being exchanged. His friends were paying him. They'd made a bet about whether Keith could make me fall in love with him, and Keith had won. I stood in that hallway feeling like the floor had dropped out from under me. We'd been together for 8 months. I'd introduced him to my parents. I'd told my friends he might be the one. I'd started looking at apartments we could move into together. The whole time, I was just a game to him, a bet he could brag about to his friends. I thought about walking into the living room and confronting him right there. I thought about screaming and crying and making him feel as small as I felt in that moment. But something stopped me. I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of seeing me fall apart. I didn't want his friends to watch me become the hysterical girlfriend who couldn't handle a joke. So I did something else instead. I walked into the living room like I hadn't heard anything. Keith jumped up looking nervous, but I smiled and said I got off early and wanted to surprise him. His friends exchanged looks, but I pretended not to notice. I sat down and made small talk for 20 minutes like everything was normal. Then I told Keith I was tired and wanted to go home. He offered to walk me out, and I let him. At the door, he kissed me and said he'd call me tomorrow. I said I couldn't wait. The next day, I called in sick to work and spent the whole day planning. Keith thought he was a player who could manipulate women into loving him. He thought relationships were games he could win with charm and persistence. I decided to teach him what it felt like to be on the other side. Over the next 2 weeks, I became the perfect girlfriend. I cooked him dinner every night. I bought him small gifts for no reason. I told him I loved him more than I'd ever loved anyone. I talked about our future constantly. Marriage, kids, growing old together. I could see him getting uncomfortable, but he couldn't pull away because his ego wouldn't let him admit he'd created a situation he couldn't control. Then I introduced him to my cousin who was visiting from out of town. Her name was Delia, and she was beautiful and charming and exactly Keith's type. I watched him watch her all through dinner. I excused myself to the bathroom and stayed gone for 10 minutes. When I came back, Keith and Delia were exchanging numbers. He didn't even try to hide it. He thought I was too in love with him to notice. The next week, I told Keith I had to visit my sick grandmother and would be gone for a few days. I went to stay with Delia instead. She showed me the texts Keith had been sending her. He'd asked her out twice already. He'd told her I was clingy and that he was planning to break up with me soon. He'd said he only stayed with me because he felt sorry for me. Delia had been playing along on my instructions. On Friday, Keith texted me saying we needed to talk. I told him I was still at my grandmother's, but that I'd be home Sunday. He said it couldn't wait. I asked what was wrong. He said he'd met someone else and that he was sorry, but he couldn't keep pretending. I waited an hour to respond. Then I told him I knew about the bet. I told him Delia was my cousin. I told him she'd shown me every message he'd sent trying to cheat on me with my own family member. I told him I'd been planning to leave him for 2 weeks and that I just wanted to make sure he humiliated himself first. He called me that night. I didn't answer.